Welcome back to the channel, Valuable Coins HD, Quarter Dollar. At first glance, you might think it's just another quarter, but trust me, there's a lot more to this small piece of metal than meets the eye. We're going to explore its background, design, mint details, and most importantly, what makes certain 1996 Washington quarters worth an astonishing amount of money. Stay tuned until the very end because you won't believe the value some of these coins have reached. Let's start by taking a look at the Washington quarter itself. First minted in 1932, this coin was created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The design has become an American classic, and since its inception, the quarter has undergone several changes, but Washington's dignified profile has remained front and center. It's a coin that most Americans recognize instantly. Now, zooming in on the year 1996, this was a year before the launch of the famous 50-state quarters program, which started in 1999 and took the coin world by storm. So, the 1996 quarter is part of what collectors often call the pre-state quarters era. Despite being a seemingly ordinary year, the 1996 Washington quarter has unique traits that make it stand out for serious numismatists. The 1996 quarters were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You can spot the mint mark, a small letter, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. No mint mark means Philadelphia, D means Denver, and an S signifies San Francisco. Among these, coins from the San Francisco Mint are especially interesting, as many were part of proof sets intended for collectors and therefore have a higher grade and value. What makes the 1996 Washington quarter so intriguing is a combination of its mint mark, condition, and some rare varieties or mint errors that popped up during production. For example, some coins feature doubling in the date or lettering, known as double die errors, which instantly increases their desirability and value. Other anomalies might include die cracks, off-center strikes, or variations in the metal composition. Most 1996 quarters you find in circulation are worth their face value or just a bit more to collectors if they're in exceptional condition. But coins that are perfectly preserved, meaning they've never been used for everyday transactions and still have that original mint luster, are much rarer than you'd think. And when you combine that with a rare mint mark or an error, you get a recipe for a highly valuable coin. Collectors love to hunt for these high-grade examples, especially coins that have been professionally graded by reputable services like PCGS or NGC. The higher the grade, the better the condition and the higher the value. Now here's the jaw-dropping part: a rare 1996 Washington quarter, especially one from the San Francisco Mint with a notable mint error or in pristine proof condition, can be worth an astonishing $90,000. $90,000 for a single quarter. It's amazing how something so common can transform into a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's the magic of numismatics: history, rarity, and condition converging to create unexpected fortune. So next time you stumble upon a 1996 Washington quarter, whether in your pocket, your change jar, or an old coin collection, take a moment to examine it closely. Check the mint mark, look for any unusual markings or doubling, and assess its condition. You might just be holding a rare gem without even knowing it. Today, we're turning the spotlight on a piece you might have seen hundreds of times in your change: the 1979 Washington quarter dollar. You may think it's just a regular quarter, but if you listen closely, you'll discover why this particular coin from 1979, especially certain mint marks, has become a highly sought-after treasure in the numismatic world. So, buckle up as we explore its history, design, unique features, and why some of these coins are commanding jaw-dropping prices today. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, originally minted to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design is iconic: Washington's profile proudly displayed on the obverse side, facing left, with the word Liberty etched above and the date below. On the reverse, you'll find an eagle with outspread wings perched on a bundle of arrows above 2 olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. This design stood strong until the late 1990s, making the 1979 quarter part of that classic era cherished by collectors. Now, zooming in on 1979, the United States Mint struck millions of these quarters, but there's more to the story than sheer numbers. These quarters were minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint mark, which is a small letter near the date on the coin's obverse, tells you exactly where your quarter was made. No mint mark means Philadelphia, D stands for Denver, and S signifies San Francisco. While the Philadelphia and Denver coins were mainly intended for circulation, the San Francisco coins were mostly proof coins, struck with extra care and polished dies for collectors, what really makes the 1979 Washington quarter special in the eyes of collectors. It comes down to condition, rarity, and those fascinating minting errors that sometimes occurred. Although millions were produced, finding one in flawless, uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly difficult. Most coins from everyday circulation show signs of wear, scratches, and fading details, which drastically lowers their value. But coins preserved with their original mint luster, sharp details, and no signs of handling are the real gems. Even more exciting are the mint errors and varieties from 1979. These can include double dies, where the image or date appears doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process, or coins struck off-center or with unusual metal flaws. These errors are prized by collectors because they are essentially one-of-a-kind anomalies that break the standard mold. A 1979 Washington quarter with one of these rare errors can be worth exponentially more than a normal coin.in edition. Coins from the San Francisco Mint, particularly proof coins, tend to have higher value because they were produced with extra precision for collectors, often carrying that mirror-like finish. The combination of a proof coin, mint errors, and superb condition can make these quarters some of the most valuable in the series. Now for the big reveal: a rare 1979 Washington quarter, especially one with a clear Denver D mint mark, pristine condition, and perhaps even a unique minting error, has been valued at an incredible $98,000. $98,000 for a single quarter. It's almost unbelievable that such a small, everyday object could hold so much value. But this is the fascinating world of coin collecting, where history, rarity, and perfect preservation can turn a humble quarter into a true treasure. So next time you find a 1979 Washington quarter in your pocket or coin jar, don't just toss it in with the rest of your change. Take a closer look. Examine the mint mark, check the date carefully, and inspect it for any unusual doubling or imperfections. If it's in exceptional condition or shows signs of a minting error, you might just be holding a coin worth a small fortune. Today, we're shining a spotlight on a classic piece of American currency that's more than just pocket change, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. You might have seen this coin countless times, but what if I told you that certain versions of this 1965 quarter could be worth far more than their face value? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll learn why this humble quarter could be a hidden treasure waiting in your collection. The Washington quarter has a rich legacy dating back to 1932 when it was first minted to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. The iconic design, featuring Washington's dignified profile on the front and a majestic eagle on the back, has remained largely unchanged for decades. But the year 1965 marked a significant turning point, not just in history, but in the coin's very composition. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a big shift away from silver. Prior to this year, quarters contained 90% silver, but starting in '65, the composition changed to a clad alloy made of copper and nickel. This shift was driven by rising silver prices and the need for more affordable coin production. This change makes 1965 quarters a fascinating transitional coin, and for collectors, that means special attention. The 1965 Washington quarters were minted at 2 locations: Philadelphia, which produced coins without a mint mark, and Denver, which added a small D mint mark just below the wreath on the reverse side. Both mint marks carry their own intrigue, but some collectors focus heavily on the Denver D because of certain rarities associated with it. Even though millions of these coins were produced, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition today is quite challenging. Many have been circulated, showing wear and tear that diminishes their value. But coins preserved with a brilliant mint luster, sharp details, and no blemishes are highly sought after by collectors. Then there are the errors and unique varieties that make some 1965 quarters stand out. Some coins have noticeable doubling in the date or letters, known as double die errors. Others might have off-center strikes or die cracks, all of which can dramatically boost a coin's value. These errors are rare and make the coin a one-of-a-kind collectible. It's also important to mention the proof coins from 1965, which were struck with special care and finish for collectors. These proofs carry a mirror-like sheen and often fetch higher prices due to their beauty and rarity. Now, let's talk value. While many 1965 quarters are worth just a few cents above face value, those in exceptional condition or carrying rare mint errors can command serious money. In fact, a rare 1965 Washington quarter, especially one with a Denver mint mark and in flawless condition, can be worth an astonishing $75,000. $75,000 for a single quarter. It's incredible how a coin that you might find in your change today can potentially hold such a remarkable value. That's the magic of numismatics, where history, scarcity, and preservation come together to create real treasure. So, if you happen to find a 1965 Washington quarter, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Check for the mint mark, look closely for any signs of doubling or minting errors, and consider its condition. You could be holding a coin worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're focusing on the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1990. At first glance, you might think a 1990 quarter is just another everyday coin, but there's so much more beneath the surface. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll discover why this particular quarter, especially with certain mint marks and conditions, could be worth an incredible amount. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932, originally minted to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The classic design featuring Washington's profile on the obverse side and an eagle on the reverse has become one of the most recognized and beloved coin designs in the country. By 1990, this design was well established, but what makes coins from this year so special? Let's talk about the mint marks first. The 1990 Washington quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint marks you'll see are P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. While Philadelphia quarters often didn't carry a mint mark in previous decades, by 1990, the P mint mark was routinely used. San Francisco quarters were mostly proof coins, struck with special care and finish for collectors, whereas Philadelphia and Denver produced both circulation and uncirculated coins. What sets the 1990 Washington quarter apart is not just its mint location but the rarity and condition of certain specimens. Most 1990 quarters were produced in large quantities and circulated widely, which means finding one in perfect, uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly rare. The coins that have remained untouched by wear and retain their original mint luster are true treasures for collectors. Another exciting aspect for collectors is the presence of mint errors and varieties from this year. Some 1990 quarters show double dies, where the date or lettering appears doubled due to misalignment during the minting process. Others might have slight off-center strikes or unusual die cracks. These mint errors are highly prized because they represent a unique moment in the coin's creation and make the piece one of a kind. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint also command attention. These coins have a mirror-like finish and sharp details, making them especially valuable to collectors who seek the best examples of the Washington Quarter series. So, what does all this mean for the value of a 1990 Washington Quarter? While a typical circulated coin might only be worth its face value or a bit more to collectors, those that are in pristine, mint condition, especially with rare mint marks or errors, can fetch prices far beyond what you'd expect. In fact, some of these exceptional 1990 quarters have been appraised at an astonishing $85,000. That's right, $85,000 for a single quarter. It's amazing to think that a coin so common in everyday life can carry such incredible worth, but that's the power of rarity, condition, and a little bit of history wrapped into a small piece of metal. Today, we're going to take a close look at the United States Washington quarter dollar from 1994. On the surface, a 1994 quarter might look like just everyday pocket change, but when you dig a little deeper, you'll find there's a fascinating story and potentially huge value behind it. So, stick with me as we explore why this coin could be worth a fortune. the Washington quarter has been an iconic American coin since it was first minted in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design features Washington's dignified profile on the front and a powerful eagle with outstretched wings on the back. Over the decades, the quarter has become a symbol of American heritage and has been beloved by collectors and everyday users alike. Now, the 1994 Washington quarter was minted in 3 key locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You'll see mint marks P, D, or S on the coins, which indicate where they were struck. Philadelphia coins bear a P, Denver a D, and San Francisco coins, usually proof coins, carry an S. While many of these coins were minted in the millions, the 1994 quarter holds a special place in collectors' hearts due to a few rare and unique characteristics. One of the most important factors when it comes to coin collecting is condition. Coins that have been circulated and handled tend to lose their sharpness and shine, which diminishes their value. But uncirculated or mint condition quarters from 1994, especially those that still retain their original luster, are becoming increasingly rare and highly sought after. Additionally, some 1994 quarters carry fascinating mint errors that make them stand out even more. For example, there are known double dive varieties where you can actually see a doubling effect on the date or letters. There have also been some off-center strikes and other unique minting anomalies that make certain specimens extremely valuable to collectors. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, which are specially struck for collectors with a mirror-like finish, also hold a special appeal. Their sharp details and flawless appearance make them prized pieces for any serious collection. So, what about the value of a 1994 Washington quarter? While most circulated coins are only worth their face value or a little more, those rare mint condition examples with special mint marks or notable errors can command prices that will surprise you. In fact, some of these exceptional 1994 quarters have been valued at an astounding $95,000. Yes, that's right, $95,000 for one single quarter. It's incredible to think that something so small, something we often overlook in everyday transactions, can be worth such an incredible amount of money. This just goes to show the power of rarity, condition, and a little bit of minting history. If you happen to find a 1994 Washington quarter, don't just toss it into your coin jar. Take a closer look. Check the mint mark, examine the details carefully for any signs of doubling or minting errors, and think about its condition. You could be holding a true collector's gem worth far more than you realize. Thanks so much for joining me in this deep dive into the 1994 Washington quarter dollar. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep discovering the amazing stories behind rare coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future treasure hunts. Until next time, keep your eyes open and happy collecting.